Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk. So it's a Wednesday, so I'm doing a junk journal video, a little bit different. I'm going to do a challenge. So Tracie Fox on her Facebook group, Foxy Crafters, that's what it's called. She's set a challenge to make a sort of motivational tag, and she's put these on as freebies, and you don't have to use these, but I really quite liked them, and I really quite liked the idea of making myself something that will sort of hang in my craft room, in front of my desk, literally there, that I can look at, and it will sort of motivate me, really. And she did, I can't remember which one she put on first. I think it was this one, and they're kind of like, purple is my favourite colour. And then she put this one on, or she might have done it the other way around, I can't remember. So I really quite like them. So I've printed them out. I've printed them out on 140 GSM. Now, what I often do with printables is I then back them onto like coffee dyed paper, because I'm usually doing vintage, but I'm not going to do this one vintage. So, and I might layer it up. So I thought I'm not going to back it for now. I'll back it if I think I need it. So, yeah, so I think I'm going to layer them up. I might do one or two, and I might make one to send to someone that needs reminding every now and again that they are enough, and that they need to have faith and be positive. And so, yeah, that were my thoughts. So I need to sort of cut these out, because it's going to be this one for my craft room, and it's not gungy or vintagey. So I'm going to use my trimmer and cut it nice and precise. So I'm just going round, trimming all the edges, getting them straight. Normally with junk journals I like the rip and stick aspect of it, but as this is a tag and it's going to be a decoration in my craft room, then I'm cutting it. So I'm just seeing which colour ribbons I've got that would go nicely with these tags. As a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I've got loads and loads of colours, and I noticed these tags do have some very good matches to some of my favourite colours. So I want to sort of ink them up so they will sort of blend a bit better. So I've got that Believe, and I want that to be coloured. So I'm looking at my inks and deciding which ones will fit. So I've got Pacific Point there, Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, Rich Raspberry, Blackberry Bliss, and Bermuda Bay. And I've just chucked in Melon Mambo as well. So I've got my blending brush, and I'm going to start with Gorgeous Grape, which is one of my favourite colours because it's purple. And just sort of blending it on there with that beautiful soft brush. I'm using the same brush, that's Pacific Point. And you can see where they blend together there in the middle, and it really is taking on the colours of that tag. I find if I just brush out the colour, I can like mix it between the pads. And that's Bermuda Bay going on there, another one of my favourite colours. And it really is turning into something that matches beautifully with that tag. So I'm actually only going to use the Believe word. So now I feel that some of these other tags need a little bit of blending. There's a bit of whiteness on it, so I'm just adding in there some purple and some of that lovely Pacific Point there around the edges. I think that was me just going, these brushes are so soft. I'm not a fan of pink, and so I'm going around the edges there, and then I decide I was going to use the Melon Mambo to bring it out, and decided I'm going to knock it back. So I do go over that pinky colour to make it a little bit more purpley. So putting some gorgeous grape over it, and that gives me the effect I want. It actually gives me the effect of tie-dyed fabric, which I wore a lot of in the 90s. I was a bit of a hippie when I was at university, which is why I loved these tags. So that's me deciding that I need to cut that believe, and I'm just going to do it with my scissors. I just like to do straight lines either side of the word and then slant the ends, quite like that as a look. And I just need to emphasise the edges, so I'm going to get a little sponge dauber and just go round the edges to make it pop a little bit more. I mean, I'm going to mat these, but I still wanted the edges defining a little bit better than they already were, and I felt that specific point, can't speak, sort of worked really well on these tags to define the edge. And then I'm just going to get some cardstock that matches these colours to mat on. So I've got cardstock in the same colour of all the inks that I've got, which is really good. So I'm using Bermuda Bay. That was the colour I decided. I'd probably use Pacific Point, except I didn't have enough. So gone with Bermuda Bay. And so then I'm just going to glue them down with a bit of Tombow that's running out. And so these are my little scraps. Never throw nothing away. And so just sticking them down and giving them a little bit of a trim to sort of match. I'm not measuring, just doing a really small border around, just so it pops a little bit on top. So I'm just going to make that for each one of the tags out of my scraps, using the same colour on all of them. And it was just lucky that a couple of those scraps were the perfect sort of length or width for those tags, which is why I keep my scraps. And because even a little tiny bit can be perfect for a little tiny project. So that's those done. So then we need the big one. I have to use a fresh card sheet for that because I didn't have one. So just trimming that down in the same way. I have speeded this up, and I'm doing a voiceover because it actually took me over an hour to do this. A really wonderful, enjoyable hour. But I felt that was a bit too long for a video. And I am waffling a lot about all sorts, about my tie-dye clothes and what I used to dress my kids in as well. Look proper hippie too. But felt you probably didn't want to listen to all that. So that's finished. I say I'm just doing a little smidge of a border, about a 1/16 of an inch really, around the edge. Didn't feel that it needed to be too long, and then it gave it a little bit more rigidity than the paper. And then just like the rest, I'm just going to stick that on and then just cut with my scissors, so that's able to stick on the tag to say, "Believe I am enough." Quite like that. So I then decided that I quite liked what was said on the other tags, so thought those could get stuck underneath each of the tags so that they were hidden. Oh, and here I am getting out my eyelets, and I have these really bright ones which I thought, oh, they're going to get redundant now that I'm doing vintage stuff, but actually there was these beautiful turquoisey blues which are just perfect. And then I suddenly remember, oh no, I want to define the top. I like to make little rectangles. So I'm going to use those inks again, and I'm just going to colour. That was just an offcut from one of the sheets, and I'll just colour that to match, and then I'll cut the strips up for the top of my tags. What I tend to do is 3/4 of an inch wide by 1.5 inches long, so then when they're folded it's 1/4 of an inch square, and I feel that's quite a nice size for the bigger tags. I do make it slightly smaller for the littler tag, And then once done, and then I'll go back round with the sponge dauber to define the edges a bit more. So there I am making the second one, and then make a slightly smaller one for the little one. But I'm going around in that Pacific point again to show the edges. I have done like my own hole reinforcers as well by punching a hole out with my crocodile and then using a little sort of 1/2 inch circle punch around it. And I have done that before as well. But I really quite like the look of just a square on it. And I do have somewhere some actual sticky hole reinforcers, and I thought about doing those and just using ink to colour them, and then they're easy to peel off and stick on, but I can't find them. So that's that. So yeah, so I just stick it, eyeball it to be in the middle, and you can see it's sort of created a square by doing that 1.5 inch and 1/4 inch wide and fold it in half. And then I use my crocodile and I just put it at 3/8 of an inch, so that it will go sort of to the centre of that 3/4 square. And if I tighten the screw, then they're all the same. And so I don't have to think about it, just chuck it in there and it is centralised. So I'm just putting the eyelet in now. And I say they're star-shaped as well, which I thought was quite cute. Because, I don't know, it's a little bit of a sort of a galaxy sky going on. So I quite like the idea of stars. And I quite often say to people, oh, you're a star. I used to do that a lot when I was a teacher. And you know, teachers have stars of the week and things like that. So quite like that. That's quite motivational. We used to use that as a motivational tool, choosing our star of the week. We have a little poster that we used to write their name on in the class. I say we, it was me and my teammate. So, yeah, so that's I felt that one needed a smaller one because it was a smaller tag. And so I'm just finishing that off with a little bit of ink. And so that needs the smaller eyelet and a smaller hole from the crocodile. I do love my crocodile. I have bought myself a big bite, but I've not used that yet. Got that for my birthday in November. But, yet to use it. So I was going to make myself some little sort of document envelopes with it. So that'll be another project at some point. So, yeah, buying this was a real game changer. And I just love putting eyelets in the top of my tags. So there they are. So they're going to sort of lay like that coming down. And I quite like the look of that. I like to put the believe at a jaunty angle. I think that's quite cool. So now we're turning to the other tags, which I'm going to place underneath so that they could be sort of slipped to the side. So this one I felt needed a little bit of shortening, and then I noticed that the sloping edges weren't even, so then I try and make them even, and then I cut a little bit more and cut a little bit more to the point where it's like, I'm not using that tag, I'm going to use the other one. And actually, as it turned out, the other one was more bluer, so I actually think it was a better colour to choose. So, you know, that little mistake actually was worth making, because I think I got a better tag as a result. So they just need a little bit of extra colour, especially that one, it's quite light. So to make it sort of match well, I'm going to put some extra inking on. And I just love the way these inks have really complemented Tracie's design. And I don't like to take a digital and just use it as is. I like to add my own creativity to it, because then you make it your own. And so I really, really do. I really do enjoy blending ink, and I really like the way this has turned out. And there I've got to get rid of quite a lot of that blue because I'm going into purple now. I am going to order some more of these brushes. They're just really cool. Come in a pack of 3. Love them. So I think I'm going to get another pack so I can denote them to different colours. So yeah, so I'm just looking at that they're going to be stuck on there. So I'm just going to glue them down, and I say I can just give the tag a little bit of a swish when it's hanging up, and then I see the other things poking through. So I quite like that idea. And so with them done, it's just a matter of then working out how am I going to attach them. So I've got lots of different types of ribbons there. So I'm going for this sort of glitzy one. This was out at Christmas. It's one of our Snowflake Splendor ribbons, which is really nice and sort of opaque with some glitz in, but it's quite stiff. Quite like it. So here I am taking a bit of twine. I'm just colouring it with Bermuda Bay so that it sort of matches. That's an alcohol marker. And so I'm just going to use this, and I'm just literally going to tie the tags together so that they, it sort of hangs down, and just literally making it up as I go along. Wasn't really sure how to do it, but this seemed to work. So that's those two knotted together. So I do a little double knot there so that the bottom one's sort of hanging free, and then with the bits that are left over, I'm just literally then going to knot it to the back one as well, and do a double knot there to hold it in place. And that's that, although you can't see it, I do apologise for that. So that's 3 of them there, and then I'm just going to loop the ribbon in, and with the extra bit of tie that's left over, I was just going to tie it round the ribbon. That's sometimes quite a nice look. However, the ribbon is actually quite stiff, so it didn't actually work. It tied round, but it didn't pull it together and give the look I was looking for. So I then remember in my drawer I've got some Bermuda Bay ribbon, some thin Bermuda Bay ribbon, which just turns out to be perfect for it. So that's going to get tied into a bow, and that just finishes the tag off perfectly. But as always, when I tie a bow, it takes me about 2 seconds to tie a bow, and then about 20 minutes faff with it until I'm happy with how it looks. But I think it's important, personally. And so, yeah, that's me tag. So, hope you like that. Hope that wasn't too long. It's over an hour. I'm going to have to do some speeding up. So that can now hang on my desk. Love it. So, yeah, so if you're not in the Tracie Fox group, the Foxy Crafters, get over there. It's a lovely group. I've not been in there long, but there's so much lovely inspiration if you're into junk journaling. So many wonderful ideas, and people share the links to their videos, which makes it really easy to... I find myself looking there, oh, I like that, click, and I fall down the dark hole of YouTube and watch lots of lovely inspirational videos. Okay, so there we have it. So I'll be back on Saturday with another video on my Artie Mays Vintage Days journal. Okay, so see you again soon. I'll be back Friday with a Stampin' Up video as well. Okay, bye for now.